it's a vertical instead of a horizontal.
Yeah, and that's a significant.
Yeah.
Those blocks, I would say, close to 60. Yeah. A normal concrete block is 7 7/8.
We'll make
Accommodate the more.
make a note to get that. Is he aware of the other doors that we're sticking in? I don't know is there anything about the other doors that is particularly, I mean, it's
That's just.
do a fire door and a
I
firewall.
think that's pretty good.
Okay, thanks. So,
Another issue might be, since that brick was put in with a broken cement based mortar, those are almost impossible to clean. Nobody's ever tried to do that. So also something in the spec for these types of brick matching as closely as possible. That just.
Or you could fill it in with wood.
I think we'll defer to your recommendation.
Well, I think.
Yeah.
We've already agreed to defer to your recommendation.
See how that works.
But,
I appreciate it.
But you could make a nice little wooden thing there if you wanted. And put the emblem of the Alstead Fire Department.
well, hopefully that they won't have to remove that full 45 degree. I think that's.
Where's the money coming from?
Don't know yet.
No idea how much it costs.
The gravel?
Lousy roads.
Perfect. We know it's not coming from the forest fire budget.
Well, I've been in this business a long time.
I think the fire department should be able to.
About structural engineering for
That
35
food out
years.
there.
McMillan built that building.
Yeah, built.
All right.
And I'm sure you're probably right, I hadn't thought about that, but Portland and Lawrence.
Kim, I have a complaint registered to me by a citizen. Now that you have an expert cook in your fire department, why don't you have pancake breakfasts and stuff for raising money for your
Because we used to do pancake breakfast, and we used to lose money on them regularly.
That's not good.
No, it's not, that's why we stopped doing it.
You got to fight obesity.
No, we tried that, I don't know how long it was, but it was a while back.
Well, you do have a chef as a member of your fire department, so I expect you to utilize him properly.
We use it at least once a year.
Okay.
He
They
does
all
the,
fail their $1,100.
because he does the warden supper.
From what I can tell, we don't have a line item for that.
Sure.
Well, I will talk to Carol Weller, perhaps between the two of us, since he's been very intimately associated with this project. We can come up with a reasonable bid stack.
Yep. And I know we did put some money in for maintenance, repairs and things like that, so we'll have to see what we have. That's kind of where that's at.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate it. All right. Tim, any other old business? All right. Any comments from the public? Bobby.
I'd like to know what's going on with the brush hogging of the backfield, the violets, and also about the dam. Steve would like to talk to you guys about that.
Okay. So without Kelly here, I don't think we have any update from our question. The same question. Did you guys hear from her anything on the brush hogging?
How big's the field? It's an acre.
I
forget, about an acre up there.
He's faster.
It's about an acre and a half.
Good acres, couple maybe.
Well, we have to do it in a couple of hours. So. Can't get to it.
Yeah, you can. Go out Bragg Lane.
I would not drive my tractor on
We
Bragg.
just had a guy bring a tractor in. Because it was a small one.
Well, Alan Wade, he has a little bush hog on a little tractor. He could do
You
it.
could go right up Fred Lane on that, I bet.
Yeah, but why should we have to pay somebody to do it when that's way too big? The highway department one. No,
And
it's
it's
4
a flail
feet.
mower
It's a
to
flail
boot.
mower. It's 4 feet.
Yeah, that's
The tractor itself. Oh, the tractor's too big. That'd be like. But he goes in the other way.
There's no other way.
Yeah, there is. Who said there was no other way?
Me.
Yeah, well, David can go in the other way.
No, he can't.
Yeah, he told me me that,
out of respect for Wally,
David told me he had no problem going in the other way.
oh,
Well, hopefully he got permission, not that he just doesn't have problems.
Well, that's what he said.
yeah.
All right.
That's
we'll
why
follow
we'd
up
like
on
the
that.
town to open up the road.
I don't know why it isn't if you haven't done that already.
Well,
How about we get some quotes?
I,
For,
Rush hogging.
Push up.
We're gonna have
advise
to
him to do
insure
it,
it.
I mean, basically it is, it's town
Huh?
park,
How much?
Bring it up.
you know.
That's about mine.
You want us to get quotes?
Yeah, I'm not questioning whether, I think the point is,
I've only got $500.
But I don't think it would be a problem.
point is, are we able to get our town equipment up in there?
Yeah.
Is the tractor too big for the job?
No.
Okay.
What's the problem is the mower is too small. It's a 4-foot mower, and he said it takes too long to mow it.
Right.
And it's a flail mower to boot.
Is it just grass or is it?
It doesn't do good on grass. Well, you see what it does on the roads.
I have an 84-inch flail mower that's first.
Right.
If it would do it.
So if the town
It'll
does
beat it
not have-
down more than it'll cut it.
Right. If the town doesn't have the best equipment for it, doesn't have the right equipment for it, if it's just gonna make a mess, then it would make sense to get a quote and see what it would cost.
Who's gonna pay for it?
Who's gonna pay for it? Is that a town expense or is that a Wiley's expense?
Town expense, we're already taking on
It's a
all
recreation,
the
it's really
costs,
violent.
if you look at the
That could come
budget.
from recreation,
Huh?
the recreation department.
Parks and Recreation.
Yep.
Park and recreation, we're already taking on expense that should be park and
I
recreation.
don't disagree, so you can look at that.
Yeah.
I will find out.
One quick question, just, I went over here, over this budget versus expenditures, excluding the fire department, because that's extraordinary. I came up with about plus or minus $5,300 in expenditures that are significantly over where the current budget lies. You know, like 250 to 6%, some 400 some odd percent. Have we looked at that?
We look at it once a month, we look at it the first week of every month, and we go through line by line through the entire budget.
Okay.
That
well,
meeting, we do
I just,
go through that.
5 minutes and went quickly through this, and then just, because we're looking at every dime now because of,
Put David's the first week.
well, okay, I just happened to
It's
see it.
David and the line-by-line budget review
Okay.
that for the first
So
of
as
every
long
month.
as you know it's there.
We
Okay.
do believe.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We ignore that. We ignore all the ones that say 7%, and we
No,
go right to the
these
ones
are,
that go 256.
jump right out of it.
Yeah, yeah, and we do budget, bottom line budgeting, so, but I do appreciate your concern and we share it. Yeah. All right,
You ain't seen nothing yet.
You'll see the fire
I'm trying to get money.
so we're gonna look into mowing up there,
And what about the dam? Steve would like to talk about.
we're gonna get to that.
I know we can't afford to be getting another bulldozer, Fuzzy Brothers in there again, but, and the gate's open, I'm wondering if at least to do something, if we tried to close it just to see if that would activate enough pressure to open up a small hole, which is all you need once, you got something going through that is gonna go on, but, because it's just dirt, and now it's up to 10 inches maybe from going over the nut that you have to hook onto.
Right.
So it's above the gate and beyond.
And rising,
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the part where I know absolutely nothing about
Yeah.
how dams are regulated, but
Yeah,
anybody know if this is something we have to get permission from?
we do have a 2-year permit to flush.
it says low
And
water.
last year was the first year, this is supposedly, you could check, but I'm pretty sure this is the second year that the permit to flush.
Okay.
And then we have to put another one in for the following year.
So what you're saying is if you raise and lower the gate a little bit, you might wiggle some stuff a little?
I don't know, yeah,
Is that what you're
it
proposing?
beats getting somebody for what, 15,000 they charged us
Yeah.
last year?
But you're also saying that if we don't do it now while the water's low, we're gonna be waiting until the water gets low again.
Yeah, but no, then it's gonna have to have a dozer so you can get to the nut.
You gotta talk to fishing people.
I know the dozer was
Is
so.
that who, is that or? That's what Joel did. Okay, okay. We'll try to come up with some answers for that.
Yeah.
We're certainly not opposed to using our permit if we have it, and if we can do it in a less.
Yeah, I know David did straight out, so, and I used to do it for years. I'd flush it about 4 times every year before, and I had a coordination with the game warden, so we didn't get stopped. I'd tell him when I was gonna flush it, and then I'd tell him when I was done, and he'd come and stop. So,
He's already been out stocked, right?
We've been stopped.
yeah, he's been up and stopped.
You already got them all?
Yeah.
All right. We'll work with, I think, if we could make a note to, talk to David about that, about, who we may need to work with at the state, if anyone. I hope it's just a case of, fine, we'll,
Notify.
yeah, perhaps it's notify, or, I don't know.
I think you're gonna get a hold of it, because everything's still there, it's just a matter of getting a hoe in there, and, because the pad is already there, so
Right.
you will walk right on that pad and pull that stuff out. So $17,000 we spent before, we won't have to spend again, because part of that's still there, other than building a ramp to get up on there.
True.
I think some of his pads been washed off though.
Yeah, but I mean, still, if they have a pretty good hoe, they could probably get in there. But the thing to do would be, I think we discussed this last week, was to talk to Fuzzy Brothers and see what they say. Maybe I would come back with a decent figure that.
Well, isn't that up to David to talk to him?
Yeah.
Well, I'm all for that, because
David's the one that's.
I know this much about dams,
Yeah.
and
And I don't know that much about dams. I don't want to talk to him either.
yeah, so let's get David and recommend David, talk to Fuzzy Brothers about what can be done, and any ideas that David may have, and what else we do. All right, any other old business?
Well,
Any other other public comments?
I know we had this discussion last year of funding our capital reserve accounts. And I know they just last year, you just cut the checks and he signed them and the money went. So I'm not sure if that's what you guys gotta do. I mean, the longer the money's in there, the better the return is on it.
So, in other words, capital reserves have
Should
not,
be have not been funded yet.
have not been funded.
All right, well, he doesn't fund them until the end of the year.
No, you guys cut the checks, he signs.
Are you talking about 2015?
16.
Yeah, that would be.
Oh, we can request them to be funded earlier? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, so as soon as it passes, you can put the money in there.
Right after town meeting.
And right after town meeting,
I know he doesn't, the treasurer doesn't like them.
well, we have a lot of money in there.
So let's, have Kelly work with Hans to see if, when we can get money transferred to fund capital reserve.
I know last year, you guys just got the Rockwood, they just cut the checks and he signed them and put them in.
Yeah, but we did have to bring it up.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I mean, the longer the money's in there, the better.
But see,
It's
once the
nice
money,
to actually get it in the
I know
market.
how he feels about it, even though I haven't talked to him. But once the money goes in, you can't get it out unless you go to the town and you get permission from the town people.
Why would we take it out?
Because, why would you want to take it out? Well, if he keeps having forest fires, we're going to take something.
We can't put it right in the air.
We can't do it. I don't know why you have to take it out.
We don't have a tan.
If it's left in the treasury, it's play with it a little bit, move it around a little bit before he has to.
Right.
That's why he does that.
Right, and we also can have a tan, which, if you're investing the money and you're borrowing the money next to nothing,
Well, I don't think we're borrowing money though. What are you talking about?
we can.
Oh, yeah, we can.
That's what we allow money for.
I see what you're saying. You want the money to go into the capital reserve, and then if we need money, we'll borrow it, right?
But there was almost $1 million in there, we shouldn't have to borrow.
All right, so we will address that. Thank you. Any other public comments?
One comment.
Please.
The last one. I usually watch the recordings of this. I'm here tonight. And I read the minutes every week. And I don't know if David said anything, but is it fair to say that the highway next year. I think we should look at getting that man an assistant, an administrative assistant, even if it's part-time. Because I don't know how he does what he does, but then still goes out on the road.
So here's how our budget works, and here's the limitation that was placed on us by the voters of Alstead. We can't propose a budget that's more than 3% higher than this year's, and that certainly will not afford an executive assistant or an administrative assistant for David. So if any citizen wishes to make a proposal at the deliberative session to add those dollars for that purpose, then they're free to do so. But while I understand exactly what you're saying, I'm saying based on those numbers, our hands are kind of tied.
Everything that's needed in that department.
He's not actually what they call a working foreman. He's actually in a management position. I mean, that's what he does. He goes and meets with these people and he orders things and he makes the highway and public works department work. But yeah, I can see where you're saying that he needs an assistant, but
Well, the police department has an assistant, the selectmen's office.
well, he's got
Town has-
he's got 3 other full-time employees up there. And in addition to that, he's got considerable number of part-time employees. I think 3 additional part-time. I don't think he's understaffed. I really don't.
I'm just talking from an administrative level. He's actually a lot.
Well,
As
he also
mayor
has
observer.
he also has access to the staff in here for secretarial and calling and stuff like that. So
And we do assist. He does get assistance from them.
yeah, he gets a lot of assistance. He doesn't do it all by
Okay, so he
himself.
reaches out.
Huh?
He reaches out to Kelly and.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. As do all of the departments.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not looking to spend money, it's not just.
Oh, I think you're doing a good job.
It's hard to do sometimes. There's not a meeting that is.
Not a round of applause.
Nah, he's the biggest part of our budget.
Yeah.
That's why his name.
Oh, Ken might be.
Yeah.
This year it might be Kim.
That's true.
No, I think I'm still safe on that.
Any other public comment?
I just have a quick question, Chris.
Sure.
This is for Kelly. On page 7, 8, 9, 10, 14, and 18, we have a lot of negatives. All those negatives are coming in to play. Like
Throw me out another page number again.
7, 8, 9, 10, 14, and 18.
Yeah, I see 7. All right. Then I
I'd
think
just like to know why, that's happened a lot. I've never seen that in the past years. That's why-
it has. I remember seeing it in past budgets. It's usually a accounting error. It's something going in wrong that need to be cleaned up.
I think the auditors aren't done yet, so.
Yeah.
That stuff is gonna be moved around. Until the auditors are done.
I think some of these are new ones, huh?
Yeah, but what
Yeah,
might
I know
happen
what
is
you're
from
saying.
the previous year, and something might have been moved around. Previous year, so it may be caused, that's what I'm trying to say.
Is there a clarification on this too?
It's like $1,000. They've only spent
On how the line
$500.
items get billed? Remember we had a problem with it a couple of weeks ago now.
Yeah, what question? Go ahead.
When they get a delivery in from Swansea Oil, it comes in gallons, but there's a dollar value.
Okay.
And the dollar value is appropriated to each of the several line items in here is on a percentage basis. For instance, the police take 5% of it whether they use it or not. The highway takes a percentage of it and the ambulance takes a percentage of it or whatever. And that's how it's appropriated into the line item. Huh?
It's not true tracking.
No. And what happens is the cards, the gas cards, have to be put into the pump in order for them to extract fuel. But nothing is ever done with those gas cards, with the slips. The slips are turned in, but there's never any accounting or any tracking.
So
Have you seen that roll?
yeah, I have. So my thought on this was, at first, it seems like completely unaccountable.
Oh, it is. I mean, it's obvious.
But then my other thought was, do we have enough there to deter theft? And if we do, then am I that much concerned with the detail? In other words, in a perfect system, we have some sort of system where here is the highway card, and when it fills up, we know that it actually even goes to this truck.
We don't even know that.
We don't.
No.
So, is it, the question is, and I won't answer this, but is it worth the time and effort to get to that
You
point?
know what key goes to what truck?
Each driver uses his own key to fill his own truck.
I don't know if there's a list down here that says what each key goes to, but David's got one at the shop.
Yeah, but I guess it's just getting from that point to having numbers accurately go to each budget.
Right.
That's the question for me. So does,
Accounting software to
right, and that's where it seems like
figure it out.
I would, or a whole lot of manual,
Oh, yeah.
data entry and tabulating it.
Yeah.
He's retired.
And then you would only have it for that moment.
You raised both hands, did you see that?
I saw that.
I saw this. All in favor?
What?
Just say yes.
No.
But the other key question to what you're saying is, if each truck has a key for 50 gallons, then you would, in order to track that, you would need a mile log to a certain extent.
Yeah.
That's all.
In order to have an idea.
In order to have an idea, and I know somebody said something about trucks sitting idle.
Yeah, you still wouldn't have an idea.
Yeah.
But then we would need to expand our budget to have a single line item that would be for gas purchases. And then a separate accounting process that would attribute those costs accurately to each group. That's what I'm saying is, if I were running a business, I would absolutely do this.
Right, because if you're plowing snow in the winter time, you're pushing uphill basically all the time. You're getting 4 miles to the gallon, probably 6
Right.
miles to the gallon at the best. Where if you're just hauling, it's different. Each thing you do is different for the amount of fuel you.
But my question is, in a municipal budget, if we get it that granular, if we get it that accurate, what did we gain?
Right, and that's nothing.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we settled on this proportion and say, okay, fine, a certain percentage goes to here, a certain.
Yeah.
Gives you a little better idea of it, but it's nowhere near accurate. But it kind of gives you the gist of it.
Fuel is the easiest thing in any municipality to steal. And it's also the easiest product to justify for someone who steals it, because they figure that somehow it's owed them somehow. And so they justify this.
Drive to work every day.
Yeah.
All right. Any other public comments? All right. Barring none, we have kind of talked about what we need for the agenda. Anything specific for the agenda for next week?
What we need for what?
Any specific requests for the agenda
Oh, for next
at
week.
this point?
All the stuff we didn't do today.
How it always is. Okay. Nothing specific?
No.
Then I will move to adjourn.
Don't we have, no, not yet. Don't we have to go into something non-public?
I think do we do that from?
From a public.
You have to be in session to go to non-public.
All right, then we're not. I withdraw my motion. All right. Then, she gave you a little sheet for, we're gonna be going into a non-public session. But we unfortunately have to ask everybody.
We didn't have it before.